Hey everybody, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of chatting with Charlie Wealth. Charlie plays
Hello.
Charlie plays bass for the band Commonwealth out of Toms River, New Jersey. And because I know a lot of you may not know much about Charlie or the band, let's start by getting to know you, Charlie. Tell us a little bit about your bass journey. How did you get started?
I've been friends with Christian for a long time. He's the lead singer in the band.
Hmm.
He started putting this together a couple of years back, and I actually learned to play the bass to be in the band. Originally, it was going to be a temporary thing, and I caught on fast enough to stick the journey out so far. So it's going good.
So did you play another instrument before you played bass, or you just jumped in?
No, I just kind of jumped in. I've always loved music. I had a pretty good ear for it, but I never actually played an instrument. And from the beginning of the band, he just started showing me some stuff, and I just hit it hard and ended up being the bassist that stuck.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like it's kind of like baptism by fire, where you just had to kind of get it done, make it happen. So,
Yeah, it took a lot of time, a lot of practice, but luckily I'm with a good group of guys that have helped me along the way. So
hmm
so it's been really good.
gotcha. And tell us a bit about the kind of music that you guys play. I know they're kind of within hard rock, metal kind of thing. Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's the hard rock metal, genre. We have a lot of you know harder guitar riffs, but there's also a lot of vocal melodies and singing. It's not all screaming and like death metal, but it
Hmm.
still has the power behind it. But it's also memorable, the try to put something together that you can remember when you leave. We have two singles out so far. We're actually in the middle of working on a third one,
Okay.
and it's going to be great.
Gotcha. And in addition to working on the singles, playing kind of the local Jersey Shore scene.
Oh yeah, yeah. In the last 2 years, we've played. I couldn't even put a number on it, the amount of shows, but we've played probably 100 shows, if not more. We've gotten the opportunity to play with some pretty big bands, some pretty big venues, and in April we're going to be beginning of April we're going to be coming right back out in Asbury and Brooklyn. What our next shows and should be great.
Nice, nice. Well, it's one of the nice thing, kind of like in that Central Jersey area. I mean, it certainly has a huge history for music between Asbury and what. I don't know that there's as much going on in Atlantic City as there used to be, but uh, I'm often hearing from bands in that area. So it sounds like there's a pretty live, vibrant music scene happening, which is good.
Yeah, the music scene around here is great. There's a lot of good local bands. It's a lot of bigger bands come here. The Stone Pony,
Hmm.
Starland Ballroom. There's some really good venues. So the opportunity to be out and get seen has been pretty good.
Very cool, very cool. And what we always, I know a lot of people always like to talk a little bit about gear. And I don't know that you've been at this long enough to have a real hard case of gear acquisition syndrome. When you look at bassists, they're in this constant search for the perfect instrument. And by the time they're done, I mean, they hardly have any place to live anymore because they're surrounded by all these instruments. But what are you playing? What are you up to so far?
Um, this, from when I first got a bass and got a setup and ready to jump in the band, I had
Hmm.
A Dean Hillsborough, then I had a P bass. Right now, I'm actually using a Washburn. It's a really nice bass. They make really great stuff. I got I've actually been lucky enough to a brand called Fireplane has endorsed me.
Okay.
Fireplane Guitars are actually making me a signature guitar. In a couple months I should have it, and I got to pretty much tell them what I wanted, and they built it for me. So it's gonna be cool. You know, not a lot of people get that opportunity. Gotcha. So very grateful for it.
And what were you looking for when you're putting in kind of, how did you want, because like I was saying, I mean, it can, for some people it's a lifelong search. What?
Oh, and I'm sure there's so much that I don't know. I read a lot, so when I went on the internet, I started looking at like types of wood that make certain sounds, and pickups for, you know, certain sounds, and I put kind of what I was familiar with that I knew I liked together with a really good design, and hopefully when it comes it sounds great, you know.
Gotcha. And what woods and what pickups were you thinking? Just kind of curious here.
They're just regular humbucker passive pickups.
Okay.
You know, it's mahogany body, ebony fretboard.
Mm-hmm.
The strings, I'm not sure what strings it's going to come with, but I use Pro Steels on my, you know, my other guitars.
Sure.
You know, so hopefully it sounds great, you know. It's kind of, like you said before, like trial by fire. So if something isn't right, you know, we'll tweak it and get it there. Once I learn more about the craft and, you know, everything, it'll be good.
Sure. Well, and mahogany, if memory serves me correctly, is a pretty normal decision with the metal scene. You know, like the Thunderbirds and stuff, they're made out of mahogany. So
that's actually what what made me kind of want to get it, because I knew that the Thunderbird's a great bass. It's an iconic bass, you know. So
sure. And what are you using in the way of amplification? And
I actually right now I use straight Ampeg. I have an Ampeg 8x10, an Ampeg SV2 head. Great sound. You know, it's durable. It's been on the road with us when we go. It's never had a problem. Can play anywhere from a small venue to an open format like a festival. So
nice.
It's good.
And pedals, with the kind of music, are you using much in the way of pedals?
Right now, I'm not against it. It's something that I haven't gotten into yet, but you know, I'd like to keep the option open, because there's a lot of pedals for tons of different sounds that you can get, you know, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Gotcha. Well, and I think, you know, I'm not a huge pedal guy myself. But I do think that, you know, it has its place kind of depending on the sound that you're looking for and the voice that you're looking for.
I completely agree. I think there's merit with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you know, Clifford Burton used pedals and he's the best. You know, he's, you know, so you can use, there's distortion pedals, pitch shift pedals, and you know, that allows you to do some things that maybe you do on recording that you can do live because you have pedals. You know, it opens up some doors. I haven't quite gotten into it yet, but something I'd like to try in the future.
Well, and it is something that is also, again, a little on the expensive side to try just by trial and error. So you kind of have to have
yes, it is
a sound that you're looking for, and see how you're going to make that happen. I can see where maybe for a lot of people they'd kind of like to do trials on a digital format. I know that I was goofing around with an app and just changing a couple pedals just to see, you know, what it was doing, and you go, oh, I get that, or I would never use that, but you know, it certainly is interesting. And looking ahead, I know, again, you guys are so at the start. recording, working hard on the club scene. What are you aiming for? What's the plan? What's in the future?
We're gonna kind of keep doing what we've been doing, putting singles out.
Mm-hmm.
We got, like I said, a new video and single coming up soon. We're gonna keep hitting the local, the local tour scene, keep hitting all the local clubs. We're gonna move on. We'll move on from there to broaden our horizons in the tri-state even, farther. There's so much you can do nowadays that we're still trying to set the game plan,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all about exposure. So the farther you can extend your reach, the better it's going to be, the more effective you're going to be. So yeah, the opportunities have been opening up, and God willing, they'll keep coming in, and it should be great.
Nice. Well, and I've had the great opportunity to talk to some bassists that have been playing for decades, and it's interesting because it's really kind of nice talking to people at different stages of the game, and a lot of them will look back and they'll go, yeah, man, there were those times I was sleeping on the floor, we're sleeping in the car, we're touring around a few states and stretching it out to get to more places. And, it's as long as you are loving what you're doing and you're dedicated to it, it's really a journey. And, it's always great to kind of see people where they are, where you are right now. The other thing, which is always kind of interesting, and I'll share this because a point that he made is that when you're with a band, like when you have a family, you don't pick your family members, but you pick your bandmates,
Yeah.
And these are people that you probably spend more time than you do with your own family, especially when you're as busy as you are. So it involves a serious amount of trust and, supporting each other, and, it's all part of the fun and part of the challenges because you're different people.
Yep. You're absolutely right. On every level, a band on every level, even a band in their infancy to a band that's been traveling for 10 years.
Yeah.
The sacrifices that you have to make to pursue it are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like you said, and to touch on the other thing, luckily I have bandmates that all are like-minded, so everything meshes pretty well. Everything has been really great.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard to get 5 guys, 4 guys, even 3 guys together and kind of keep the ship going one direction.
Sure.
But luckily, like I said, I got some good bandmates. They're talented guys. They've we've all stuck together so far, and hopefully make it through to the other side.
There you go. And if somebody wants to know more about what you guys are doing, is there a website or a place that they should look?
We're if you go to Facebook, look up Commonwealth. On Facebook. If you go to YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, we're on all the social media outlets. Soon we'll have our .com coming. It's not set up quite yet, but very soon we'll have our own .com, and that'll be another outlet for people to reach out and get a hold of us.
Excellent. Well, Charlie, we wish you the very best of luck and most continued success. I mean, it's very exciting to see where you are right now. I know a lot of times when you're looking ahead of you, it looks like a more of an uphill climb, but it's talking, like I said, to people in so many stages of music, sharing this common passion and sharing the bond of music is just, it's great. It's one of the best things you can do. So
it really is. It really is. And I appreciate you, taking the time out to talk with me anytime.
Well,
just reach out and let me know. And
we'll definitely have to stay in touch. And of course, after we've just had opportunity to talk with Charlie Wealth, I wanted to take advantage and talk with his bandmate and vocalist for Commonwealth, Christian Carson. So, hey, Christian,
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great. You may be one of those rare instances that we're actually going to talk to somebody that isn't the bassist.
Yeah.
We do talk to whole bands, but kind of the slight different angle. And you guys, I know we've covered a lot of ground with Charlie. Tell us a little bit about your angle. What do you do with the band? And this is a couple years old.
Sure. Yeah, we're a very newer band, man. Only been on the circuit for about 2 years, which I'm sure Charlie covered with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the vocalist, as you said. We have been doing some great stuff, man. We got a new release coming out next month. The song is called Pull Me Through. We've had 2 releases and videos come out prior to that. First one being Cut This Deep, and the second one being Mend the Pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Revolver magazine premiered Mend the Pieces last April, and it's been going great. Both of them have been going really, really well. I'm sure Charlie mentioned this too, but we've done a lot of shows in that period of time.
Yeah,
probably can't even count them, but have gotten got ourselves into a lot of different situations in a lot of different places. We've been on some really cool podcasts and some really cool just different interviews, and just a lot of different doors have opened, with the shows and just everything as the new releases come out,
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping this next one kind of takes us to another plateau,
Got you. And one thing that I forgot to ask about, the music that you're playing, who's
Sure.
Are you writing, or who's doing
I
it?
do a lot of the writing.
Okay.
I'll bring basically a whole basic structure of a song. The slight kind of an arrangement, and a chorus part or a verse part, or and we'll build off that. Most of the time I'll have it pretty settled, but things are always still left to a certain degree open, for the band to throw in their input and their 2 cents, but songs are like your baby sometimes,
They grow.
So when you hear it, and you have it in your mind in one way, sometimes it's hard to let that be messed with, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But we have a really good system going in this band, and everybody's really, really open with each other too. And we'll say what's on our mind and speak our mind with each other. And nobody gets offended easily by things like that. It's, it's all for the cause, and we're all headed in the same direction. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I do a lot of the writing for the band.
Nice. Well, and I was talking to, I remember I was talking to one band, Brian Beller and the Aristocrats, and they were telling me that the music evolves, the songs evolve, and
Exactly.
So the more times they play it, they'll look at it and they'll go, we should add this thing in, or we need to take this part out, or this has got to change this way. And so it's kind of an ongoing, and
Absolutely.
They'd mentioned that if you heard a song now and then heard it performed live maybe a year from now, that it's going to have a lot of things that are just tweaked. Exactly.
Right. Sure. We've had, it's funny that you said that, because I know you brought that up, because the song that we're currently working on, the new release that's going to be coming out next month, Pull Me Through, that song has been with us for years and is finally getting out now, because it's finally getting to a place where we feel it's the song it was supposed to be,
Gotcha.
And, and it's always crazy, because even the 2 songs that we released prior to this, it's like, you go back and listen to those now, and you separate yourself from them. And, me, myself, I always find things that even if it's not there, I'll find something, you know what I mean? That I would either change or tweak or whatever. But it's a place in time. Those songs are a place in time, and it's where we were. And it's only excelling to where we're going. So they're all just stepping stones, But, that happens often, man. That happens often.
Gotcha. And I know I'd ask Charlie, but I'll get your point of view too. What direction? Where would you like to see yourselves heading in the future? What's your kind of goals?
Sure. Well, basically, we have, independent support right now. We're with an independent, just label ourselves right now, which is small, and it's providing definitely the help that we need at this point, at the stage that we're at.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, we look to grow and hopefully get to a larger support system,
Yeah.
you want to call it that, or a larger team,
Mm-hmm.
And to do some more touring and get on the road. We're in April, as Charlie I think mentioned to you. We're in April, beginning of April, starting up the live dates again after the single release next month. It'll probably be mid-March. Right now, there's not a definite set day, but we know the estimated period that it's in between.
Gotcha.
So it'll be mid-March, and that you'll see the video and new release come out. And then beginning of April, we'll hit up the Jersey area. We'll be in New York, and then we'll also be in PA. We'll be all through the tri-state, and then as it gets to summertime, we'll be heading further west.
Gotcha.
So you'll be able to look for us in other areas during the summer.
Excellent. And
Sure.
just to refresh our readers' memory, the best place to look for information about your band again?
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The Facebook is facebook.com/CommonwealthNJ.
Gotcha.
That's the Facebook right now is kind of a main go-to for a lot of our fans, and so is the Instagram page as well. The Twitter is pretty active also, but those two seem to be, the Instagram and Facebook seem to be the place to go right now until the .com is totally up and running. I don't know if I want to mention the name of the .com yet, just so people don't, run to it, but we will be able to announce that soon enough, and hopefully with the new release. So
Sure. Well, and what you can do is once it's up, and if they're looking at your Facebook or your Twitter, share the .com there, and then.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be spreading the wealth, man.
There you go. Well, Christian, I don't want to keep you. Appreciate you taking a little time to chat with us. We wish you the greatest of success. Keep us in the loop of what you guys have going on, folks. Absolutely. We'll even talk to a vocalist here on Bass Musician Magazine. You've seen it right here.
Take care, man.